Hello and welcome to Craft Beerstream number 7. It's been a week since our last transmission or video, whatever you want to call it, and it's been a bit of a mad week for us, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. Certainly as we step into August now, people seem to be properly in sort of summer party mode, don't they?
Yeah, lots of beer being drunk at the moment.
Yeah, and it's lovely. One of the lovely things about being where we are, because we're only 15 minutes walk from Barry Island, means that sort of in the summer there's just lots of people, lots of families around, lots of holiday makers, and especially the site that we're based in with the goods sheds as well, being really good for outdoors. So it's been a really nice vibe here this week.
It has. Can't complain. So that's always a good thing, isn't it? Especially in the current climate with hospitality businesses, it is tough. But we seem to be on a steady path, I think.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Yeah,
we're doing all right.
yeah.
We've acquired 2 new neighbours on site as well, which
We
makes me
have.
doubly happy. The fantastic Kapow ribs who've joined us now, who do these just amazing ribs. We had some, didn't we, at the pub quiz on Wednesday.
Yeah, we did.
You had the barbecue one, didn't you?
Yep, I had barbecue, and you had the
I had the surf and turf one.
surf and turf, yeah, with like dried shrimp on the outside.
Yeah, it tastes a hell of a lot better than it sounds. They were both absolutely gorgeous, and their curly fries were phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect beer food. It works so well with stuff we have on tap here, so it's really, really cool.
Yeah, so one of the things here, so even though we don't have a kitchen and we don't do food ourselves, we're more than happy for our customers to bring food in. I mean, we've got some of South Wales' best street food vendors sort of right on our doorstep, literally just like a stone's throw over in that direction.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that people can come and grab some ribs or something from Meat and Greek or from Bab House. So
Yeah.
Laylee's been everywhere this week as well. Laylee from Bab House, she was just in the Telegraph with a recipe for her barbecued aubergines. So yes, if you're visiting, come and grab some food from the good sheds and then bring it in.
Yeah, it's what makes us unique here, because we don't mind. As long as you drink our drinks, you can literally...
Sometimes the smell when you're working shift.
Yes.
I think was it last Saturday when Kapow Ribs opened, and I think every other table in the bar Saturday night had Kapow Ribs, and I was working Saturday shift, and rather stupidly I hadn't had proper food before I came out for my shift, and the smell was just, it was like torture.
But the problem is it's shut by the time we finish work, so we can't like go and grab something afterwards.
Or in the case of Who Cult on Saturday, they sold out by the time we actually managed to get over there.
Yeah, so Who Cult opened on Saturday morning, didn't they?
Yeah, they do the most amazing donuts if you've not seen them. So I think they're based out of Bridgend, and they've just opened their second store here in Barry.
Yeah.
And the queues all day for Who Cult were out of this, like, were insane. And their donuts are phenomenal.
Yeah, we've got like customers and even staff who would drive in from here to Bridgend just to get the donuts, but now they're literally on their doorstep. So they're like, imagine just these massive, oversized, crazy like combinations. I think the one of their main ones is the Homer, isn't it?
That's my favourite.
Yeah, so it looks exactly like the cartoon donut that Homer Simpson has, and yeah, I mean, hey, look, it's great to have another amazing business on site with us.
Yeah, so, plan your day at the good sheds, pop down, grab some food from the street food guys, grab a donut from Who Cult, pop in here and enjoy them with a nice beer or two. Dessert beer to go with donuts.
Well, I think that leads us on, obviously, carrying on with our 3 beers for the week. Last week we did 2 draft and 1 from our bottle shop, and I think we're going to continue with that theme this week. Just because there's so many cool new that are coming into the bottle shop, and actually I really want to review one of them. So
good
super
excuse for us to grab something from the bottle shop.
Yeah, there is just like some of the stuff that's going to be coming in is crazy.
So many good beers being produced at the moment.
Yeah,
so many breweries doing some
really
fantastic stuff. But yeah, so where are we starting?
So first one we're starting with is Sureshot Everyday Balloons 5.5%. It is. So I don't know if you know who Sureshot is. Founded in 2020 by a brewer, head brewer and co-founder who started life at, where did he start life at? He was head brewer at Marble, and then went on to co-found and be head brewer at Cloudwater.
Wow.
So, you know, he's got pedigree. He's pretty influential in the Manchester beer scene.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah, so Sureshot was one of those breweries I think we first found out because a couple of our customers started asking about them and saying they'd heard really good things. So the first beer I think we had from them was a beer called Small Man's Wetsuit,
Yeah.
which had us all chuckling. But it was an absolutely fantastic beer. That was a table beer, I think, wasn't it? It was 3 point something, I think.
3.8, I think.
3.8, yeah, so certainly a lower ABV.
And then we also had 164 miles per hour.
Which was a dipper.
Yes.
So we went from sort of one side of the scale to the other, which incidentally, I've just been reading a report that that's sort of the trend that they're seeing, certainly in the American craft beer scene, that the two sides of the craft beer market that have really taken share are the dippers and then the non-alcoholics.
Yeah.
It seems to be that people want sort of over 8% or under 0.5, which is really interesting.
Yeah, they're doing some amazing stuff, and this is one that we had in can, and we actually have in can in the fridges, but we also wanted to have it on keg because obviously it always tastes completely different when there's a different feel to beers when you drink them keg versus
and there's
can.
pressure as well. And
That's it.
But again, as I think as we found with one of the beers last week, I've tried this one. I was drinking this through choice last week. I love this beer. This is a fantastic beer.
Well, fun fact, the brewery is actually named after the Beastie Boys track as well. So that's where the name came from. But yeah, so it's James Campbell is the head brewer and owner of Sureshot, and yeah, he's pretty influential. If you haven't sort of looked into him, it's worth having a little Google about kind of his background. He's inspired through mentoring teams at some of the breweries he's worked at for some of the other quite well-known breweries to kind of inspire these people to move into their areas.
Yeah, and fair play with that pedigree behind him. But as we've had 3 Sureshot beers on draft, and they've all been belting.
Yeah, and one of our regulars, he was in last week and was like, when you get this new one in? So I'm trying to find out. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly which one it was, but it was another dipper. It was another dipper. Yeah, because apparently it's absolutely outstanding. So yeah, we've always got our eyes out and trying to find these cool beers. Yeah,
definitely, and from exciting new breweries, and Sureshot I think are definitely one that we're going to be hopefully seeing a lot more of.
Yeah, so this is a Payload, as I said, 5.5%. So good level of murkiness. I'm going to say dank. That's pretty much the term that's used in the beer industry. Great head on that, even though it's been sitting there for a couple of minutes. It's absolutely wicked.
The lacing that it leaves on the glass is beautiful.
But that's also down to how well we look after our glassware. This is the thing, it's not just about how well you look after your beer, it's actually how well we ensure that our glasses are meticulously clean to ensure that actually then there's no contamination across anything, that that you get that amazing lacing when glasses have watermarks or they're not properly rinsed. Sometimes it can actually kill the head and actually affect the taste of the beer. So that's also one of the big parts of it's not just looking after your beer and keeping it 4 degrees.
And looking after the nucleation on the bottom of the glasses as well. We've got custom nucleation on the bottom of our glasses.
Yeah, I don't know whether have we got one?
Yeah. Got a half pint.
Yeah, we do. I don't know whether it's actually going to show up on camera, but if you look very carefully, yeah, it does actually. Yeah. You can see our train tracks that are. Oh, there you go. Oh no, there you go. Yeah. And
of course, the nucleation is there just to help you get the best experience when you're drinking craft beer, because it just helps with the effervescence and the carbonation of the beer. But making sure that the nucleation is looked after, make sure the glasses are dried, cleaned properly, that all adds to it.
Yeah, and ensuring that when they're tired, we retire them, because at the end of the day, nobody wants flat beer, and I'd rather...
Well, I mean, some people do, but not us. Anyway.
One beer. Yeah, no, that's definitely not us. But anyway, we're Sureshot Everyday Balloons 5.5%. So let's give that a try.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, cheers. Sorry, I was quite eager
Too
to jump
excited
into
to
it.
get in. My own bubblegum notes slightly on the nose.
Yeah, 100%. That is exactly what I'm getting straight away.
It ties in nicely with the balloons title.
And incidentally, it's Citra and Mosaic that are used in this beer. It's not crazy soft mouthfeel, but there's definitely a sort of a creaminess there.
For me, I love this. I think this is a fantastic beer. It sits perfectly in my ABV sweet spot as well at 5.5%, so it's kind of got something to it without being too heavy. It's got a nice little bit of bitterness, but straight away you get really fresh citrusy type notes. It's a bit of kind of almost like mango-esque quality, not mango, a melon type quality in there. That bubblegum on the nose, which I've become quite a fan of actually since discovering that Cloudwater Hop and Vice earlier in the year.
Yeah, it's not necessarily my favourite flavour. I've never been a big bubblegum sort of flavour person, but I appreciate that in beers.
When you were younger, didn't you have those screwball ice creams, you know, that had like, they were in the plastic thing, they had the vanilla ice cream and had that little bubble gum in the bottom and...
Yeah, no, definitely. And also, there was the bubble gum bright blue, like, little panda pops, I think.
It's not like that.
No,
I'm definitely thinking those gobstopper, it's like...
Oh yeah,
type.
definitely. But it's not necessarily where the flavour that I would naturally go to, but that's on the nose. The rest of that is definite.
Well, it's not too
flavours.
heavy on the mouth, but it's nicely rounded, but it's not full, but it's not thin either. So I think this for me is just a really well balanced beer. I think it's lovely.
Yeah, Sorry, I realised I did normally do thirds and I got overexcited and poured a half.
Did a half.
So hey, it's all good. So that's the benefit of our place. We can drink the beers and enjoy them as part of our tasting. I think that was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I think it's just, I said it's really well balanced. It's a really sensible ABV. It's really easy drinking.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we will move on to our second beer.
What is our second beer?
Our second beer is from Omnipollo, and it is it's called Zodiac, and this one is one from our bottle shop in bottle. We had it in can, but this time it's come back as a bottle. I'll go and grab that now.
Yeah, and it's super reasonably priced, but Omnipollo seems to be one of those breweries that there's a lot of hype about Omnipollo, isn't there, always?
Yeah, well, Omnipollo are known for their absolute crazy, high ABV, insane priced, like mad beers with like, I don't know, like million ton of vanilla pods and all this kind of stuff. They go for absolutely crazy ones. So they're obviously they're a Stockholm-based brewery. If you haven't heard of them, have a look at their stuff. I mean, they just do crazy stuff, and it's normally way out of the price range, really, to carry anything of a decent number, because, like, yeah, I mean, you're talking 14-15 quid a pint if you really get into it. No, actually, it's probably even higher than that.
Some of the prices on their kegs are
and
really
we've seen.
high,
I think we've done some calculations sometimes, and it was like a third is £9. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to have it here, and I'm sure the novelty of people coming to try it. But that's the hard sell. That really is the hard sell, especially A, in this climate, and B, just because £9 for a third is really crazy. But Zodiac is actually really reasonably priced, and comes in 330 CL and actually comes in at 6.2%. So
for the ABV and given the credentials of the brewery, this is a really reasonably priced beer.
So it's almost we kind of see this as being able to have Omnipollo on a budget. almost, because at the end of the day, like it is, I would love to have more of the stuff because I think the stuff's great, but it just for price point and keeping that in the bottle shop, I think it's just something that we can't necessarily do. So, broke the bottle.
It's got a really fun label as well with all the Space Invaders.
Yeah, so they've used. So what have they used? It's an American Pale Ale, blended grains, untouched, post fermentation, and they've used it's hot with Simcoe, Citra, and Centennial.
Okay.
So I'm expecting a really good blend here. The flavours. Look at that. I was expecting it to be more hazy than that, but actually it's got a lovely colour to it.
It is.
Oh, I'll put that there so you can see it. There we go. Yeah, so actually, not crazy hazy.
Ooh.
Good level of head on that. Nice carbonation. Let's.
Getting like pineapple on the nose and also some resin notes.
Yep, there's pineapple, maybe touch of citrus, like lime. I'm getting almost lime juice.
Yeah, on the nose it puts me in mind of slightly more traditional beer styles, but
yeah, I mean, obviously being an American pale ale, I guess you're expecting it to probably be on the slightly more bitterness.
Okay.
But let's try that and see how we're getting on.
Did you say that's 6.2?
Yeah, 6.2. It's quite interesting. There was instant. I got a bit of heaviness, and then that dissipated very quickly. It's very resinous, I would say, and the bitterness is there exactly as I would have expected from an APA.
It's got quite a clean bitter.
Yeah, it has actually. It's got real clean bitter.
As you said, on the front, it's got a fuller body, but that does dissipate quite quickly, and it finishes quite cleanly.
That is very, very easy drinking. How is it for you? Because you don't like super bitter stuff. Does that work for you?
Yeah, because the bitterness it's a slight floral bitterness. It's not some of the West Coasts that we have. They are super bitter, and that's just not my cup of tea. Whereas I quite like American styles because they do, or some of the American styles that do tend to have a more floral note to them.
Yeah.
I do quite like the floral bitters because I don't find it too harsh, and there is a touch of sweetness there as well. I'm surprised it's 6.2. I don't think it drinks like a 6.2.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's the thing that
I don't think it does. There's the first taste, the first mouthful. I thought I could feel it felt like it drank like that, but actually on drinking it for a little bit longer after a couple of more mouthfuls, it definitely isn't giving me that.
Fairly low levels of carbonation in there as well. Like it's not overcarbed at all. It's quite tame, I think.
Yeah. I'm just trying to place what it reminds me of. It's almost got a slight lager sort of feel to it. Do you know where I'm coming from?
I think when I talk about that clean finish,
yeah,
it is sort of Pilsner-esque or
that's
European style lager finish on it.
That's it, but it's still heavily hopped.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely not a gateway from a lager to that, but I do feel that there is an element of that sort of almost lager-esque sort of style. I almost got a bit of I couldn't quite place the smell. Some of the sort of bottled lagers almost have that slight. It's not funk. It's just a slight illegal drug smell.
Okay.
So only very subtle, and I just thought no, I had a slight whiff of that, but that disappeared quite quickly.
I don't say that floralness. I also would say it's a bit of a soapy floralness, but not in a really bad way. It's just kind of got something. I don't know if it's the bitterness with it and the floral note, but
yeah, I guess it's the oils potentially just
maybe.
coating the back of the mouth there.
And I guess it is a 6.2, so it's going to have a little bit of
bite
to it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to have a bit of bite to it. So no.
I think that's a really enjoyable beer, and I think to be able to try Omnipollo.
Yep.
At such a reasonable price, and to get it in a sensible measure as well. So I think it's definitely worth trying them, because they are a fantastic brewery.
Oh, amazing.
And whilst we won't be having any of their kegs of £20 a pint beer in any time soon, we have had some of their 33 CL cans, haven't we?
Yes.
Before we had this in can, as you said.
Yeah,
We've had some other others. Ripples, didn't we? We had double ripples as well, I think.
Yeah, and there was something Earth. I can't remember.
Yeah, so whenever we do see a reasonably priced Omnipollo, we do tend to grab it, because I think it's a really good way to try this amazing brewery at, a more tolerable
price
and sensible risk.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But we've just had a fresh delivery of these. These only came in this week, so we do have a full set in the fridge. So if you are around and passing Barry, or even if you're not passing Barry, come to Barry, come and see us. Pick up a bottle of this. It's definitely worth a try, I think.
No, it is good. It is really good.
And you get Funky Space Invader.
I think I prefer it in canned bottle personally, but I think there's.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? We do see more and more breweries moving towards can than bottle. I mean, can is such, it's more environmentally friendly, it's easier to store, it doesn't break through shipment. Cans have so much going to them. Of course, Fault City kind of famously have just moved into putting things into can and away
which
from bottle.
Which we're really pleased about, because. Yeah. They didn't fit in our fridges properly. We had to put them separately to the other sours because they just don't fit. And there's another sour brewery that we really hope will move to can as well, because their stuff's great, but we have to have it separately, and then we have to try and point people down to the other end so they might buy it.
And I think there is a lot of people who really like having bottled beers. I get asked a lot in the shop is, what have you got in bottle? And I don't necessarily understand the fascination with the packaging medium, because for us as a business, storing and having shipments of cans is a lot easier. Temperature control is easier, it's environmentally friendly, waste management is easier, lower risk for people cutting themselves or breaking bottles.
Just generally, I mean, cans are much better, full stop. Aluminium's infinitely recyclable. Yeah, so
it is curious when we see so many people moving towards can, that I think this is possibly the first time we've seen a beer that's moved from can into glass.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting, and especially because it's a European brewery as well, so they are shipping overseas. So you would have thought, strange, very strange.
But
your thoughts? Cans versus bottles.
Cans versus bottles.
Why the fascination
below,
with bottles?
And whether you prefer one or the other. That's super cool. Yeah.
And if you are pro bottle, please tell me why. I don't understand. Do you have a bottle opener on you as well?
I know. A can is just go anywhere. I mean, I always, to be fair, I've got a bottle opener on my keys permanently.
I have a belt that has a bottle opener built into it.
Yes, you do. But it's also Animal from the Muppets as well, isn't it?
No, it's still Animal, but the brand rather than the character.
Oh, I thought it was. I swear I.
No, I have that one as well. That doesn't have the.
Sorry.
Anyway, we digress. Beer.
Yes, beer. Final beer for today is actually going to be. We're going to go for a sour. It's Wild Beer Co. And it's called Daydream 6.2. But what's interesting about it is it's barrel aged. It's a Foudre barrel aged sour, and it's almost harking back to their earlier days of complete mixed fermentation, wild beer. Hence the Wild Beer Co. But I'm going to pour that.
So a long time ago, in a former life, you all right?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just enjoying it tonight.
I went to the London International Wine Fair, and they had a craft beer section, and it was kind of about the time that we were early days of planning Craft Republic, so I was excited to go see what breweries there. Wild Beer Co were there, And I think it was really early on, but I remember them having bottles, and I remember kind of trying it, and I remember trying it and not being enamoured with it, because that funkiness, it was super funky. Beer.
Oh yeah.
Like loads of, Brettanomyces and wet hay type tasting, and I was probably fairly early on in my beer journey as well, so I was a bit sort of unconvinced. Now, of course, while Beer Co, like one of our staple breweries, Pogo actually is one of my favourite beers, and it was probably one of the beers that helped transition me into craft beer, because it's very light, really fruity. The days when I had an allotment, Pogo was one of my favourites to have on can. Sensible ABV as well.
Yeah.
Bibble is another absolutely cracking beer. They do some fantastic stouts. Well, yeah, Millionaire.
We actually have Millionaire on at the moment.
Which is a Millionaire shortbread salted caramel milk stout,
and it's a massive seller for us in the bottle shop, and then occasionally we drop it in the on the tap line.
But really well made, accessible beers with good flavour profiles, sensible ABVs, good pricing. Local, they're Somerset, aren't they?
Yeah.
So fairly local to us as well. Just doing really good stuff. And I do wonder, maybe sometimes I overlook them because they've been part of my craft beer journey for so long.
Yeah, I mean, this is the beer clip for it. So as you can see, it's a peach and strawberry sour. Ooh. And it's Foudre aged sour. Which, if you don't know what Foudre is, it's an oak barrel that was used for aging, transporting, and maturing and storing like wine. But there's been sort of breweries starting to use it. I mean, one we had quite a while back, was the Colonel.
Yes.
Do you remember Foudre beer, which was a mixed fermentation beer that was actually that was left in a foudre to kind of age and do its thing. That was an interesting beer, wasn't it?
It was. That was a bit of a Marmite beer, I think, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
really, really divisive.
It was one of those ones that we bought because, again, it was really early on in our days during lockdown. Why did we do this to ourselves? But we bought this beer and we were like, because actually there wasn't a lot of beer around, and this one looked interesting. We just thought, do you know what? We'll try it.
And it was the Colonel as well. So
yeah, well, we love the Colonel. We love the Colonel.
Good brewery.
And then we put it on, and actually it did exceptionally well because people were looking for something a bit different.
Yeah. And it was different.
Oh, massively. It really divided opinions, but people got to try something really interesting. So no, it was that it seems to be a thing using foudres in sort of producing beer, and obviously that was why we quite fancied having this, because it's a bit different from your usual sours. So.
And so you say peach and strawberry?
Strawberry, yeah.
Okay, so I've now learnt through my beer journey that I like the sound of peach in a beer, but actually I always feel a little bit let down because peach isn't one of those flavours that comes out strongly in sour beers.
No, fair.
It's almost there as because it's such a subtle flavour. It's so soft, and I love peaches. I should learn this actually, because I'm a white wine drinker, and if ever it says notes of peach, I love the sound of it, but actually in practice I don't. Strawberry, on the other hand, we have had some great strawberry sours. Strawberry does seem to carry really well into sour beers.
Yeah, it does.
What's Melba? Peach Melba's raspberry, isn't it? So
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's give that a go. So when I was pouring it, I was really getting a strong waft.
Strawberry, all the way strawberry.
Strawberry straight off the bat.
Yeah, loads actually, and the colour and everything.
Oh yeah, so colour. So it obviously doesn't reflect the fact it's strawberry, because you would expect it to be sort of a pinky reddy colour, but it's not.
Yeah, and no head retention either, but again we've come to learn that through sours
just don't do it. Yeah, sours just don't hold it. I mean, I've still got a bit there, but it's what it is, you know.
But yeah, loads of strawberry on
I'm definitely getting, like, and I don't know whether that's because I know that it is barrel aged, but I'm definitely getting musky.
Yeah, so I was going to say there's a slight subtle vanilla note, which is from the barrel.
Yeah. So there's definitely something there, and it's not like some sours when you drink when you smell them, and honestly, they don't smell like they taste. But this one, like,
it's almost as well. It's got slight scrumpy cider type vibes to it.
That is definitely that's
that farmhouse type note.
Yeah.
Oh, where to start?
Okay.
I mean, yeah, definitely that farmhouse cider scrumpy type.
Yeah, it almost tastes like cider.
Yeah, bit like a fruity cider.
It's quite complex. It's quite deep.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, but it's not your typical fruited sour that you have, and it's just like, yes, that's a peach and strawberry sour, or that's a cherry sour, or you get the sour sweet sort of with the tartness in the back. There is more complexity here.
So it's definitely tart.
Yeah.
It's got that. It's sort of hitting me right in the back of the throat, to make me sort of go a little bit. That vanilla note is there, which is obviously from the barrel aging. It has got
body. There's real body in this. There's real body in this.
The strawberry is definitely there. You get it carries on, and the strawberry notes hold as well. You get the strawberry on the nose, on the palate, and then all the way through to the back.
Right on my tip of my tongue, rather than further back. It's almost fizzing on the front of the tongue, but I'm getting slight oakiness.
Yeah.
Like, it's oaky, smoky, which obviously you'd expect from being in an oak barrel.
And those vanilla notes as well, which you just get on the back and slightly on the nose, which is lovely. It lends itself really well. I think if you are a scrumpy, or if you like wild cider, then I think this is definitely one to try. It's got a good level of carbonation to it as well, so it's a bit more carbonated than the Zodiac, but it's not overly tart, I don't think.
But what I really like about it is, you are right, this, I would say, is probably the perfect gateway beer for a cider lover.
It is one of the most cideriest beers that I've had in a while.
Yeah. I would, if you put that in front of me, I probably would have thought that was a cider.
Certainly for some of the beers we've had on recently that are the wild ferment. So we had the Wild Disco from Nightingale, and we had that on keg, and so that was sparkling, and it had that funkiness, and it didn't have, obviously this has this fruity notes to it, so you do get the strawberry note, and it is oats, you do get these vanilla notes. But I've learned.
And you were right, there's definitely no peach here.
No,
there's no peach.
It might be really subtle, it might be a slight floral note, but it's not. I mean, I'm sure it's in there to help balance out the sharpness from the strawberry. It's probably that vanilla note I'm picking up is probably a degree of it.
Yeah.
What's the ABV on this?
6.2.
Wow.
So it's definitely a strong one.
I would again not necessarily.
No, it definitely. I wouldn't have said it was.
I think there's so much going on that it does kind of mask any. I mean, I'm not getting much bitterness or alcohol kind of.
No.
It's not heavily. It's not heavy on the body.
That is absolutely delicious.
It is lovely. I think if you do like your wild ciders, because the strawberry's there, but it's not overpowering.
No.
I do definitely think that this is one to try. I think, again, beautiful sunny August day. It's really refreshing. That tartness is beautiful.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I mean,
there is a lot going on with that. I can't believe that's a beer.
So what's your standout for today?
See, I like balloons, because I like them, but actually, I mean, I've been really pleasantly surprised by this.
Yeah.
And it's really nice with Wild Beer Co, because we do tend to have, I'm a big fan of Pogo, I like Millionaire, we've got Bibble, but they do kind of tend to be those more their core range things, and I think sometimes I do think of Wild Beer Co a little bit as being those core ranges. So when you try something like this, it really is, and it's got proper wow factor. I think this beer, it really caught me. It's not what I was expecting. It's beautiful. Like, it's a very well made complex beer. You can tell there's skill that's gone into this.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It almost feels like it's back to their original days, which like is lovely to see when they're experimenting on something that's a bit different from the more mainstream core stuff. So that's really great to see.
Like strawberry laces as well, I think maybe.
Yeah,
but those ones with the tangy sherbety sugar on.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
What about you? What was your?
I think I agree with you on this one. I really enjoyed that. I'm more, it's very easy to stay in my comfort zone and just drink the pales and stuff like that. And I do love a sour, I do love a stout, I do love all of that kind of stuff. But actually, on this occasion, this has got a bit of interest. It's definitely piqued my interest. So
we started with Everyday Balloons.
Everyday Balloons from Shoreshot. Pale Ale, 5.5%.
And then we moved on to the Zodiac.
Yeah, which is
from Omnipollo.
6.2.
Same as this one, actually.
6.2, yeah.
6.2. Where did you say they were based again?
Stockholm.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
and it's and that's a APA. Yeah. And then we finished on the Daydreams which is peach and strawberry sour from Wild Beer Co. Also at 6.2%.
And this is, I think we've both agreed on this, that this is.
Yeah, this is our
beer of the week.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, there's one thing that we haven't told you is actually, while like we love doing what we do, but today is actually our wedding anniversary. 13 years we've been together, married, and and we're still going strong, hopefully.
I think so.
And it's just one of those things. It's like it's lovely to be doing on this journey with my best friend and like my wife and like my business partner. But you're everything. But like it's amazing for you to be doing this with you, and we have our highs and lows, ups and downs, and it's massively stressful at times. But we understand each other. We know how it works, and that's why we are where we are. And I think it's definitely sheer grit,
share a love
determination.
of beer as well.
Yeah, and that's always a good thing. But yeah, it's lovely to be sitting here sharing that with you guys as well on our anniversary, when like we're not big into this whole going out for dinner and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, we actually forgot until yesterday morning. We turned around to each other and went, "It's our anniversary tomorrow," and you went, "I haven't got you anything," and I turned around and said, "I haven't got you anything either." But that's cool, because we don't need stuff. Like, we don't need to show you that. We know how that works. But no, I mean, obviously we'll raise a glass to our wedding anniversary. 13 years going strong, and unlucky for some, I guess they say, but I'm hoping that's not the case. So hopefully next week we'll still be here. But thank you.
And on that note.
Yeah, but thank you very much for watching, and thank you to new subscribers, and thank you for commenting as well.
Yeah,
we're loving seeing the comments. It means a lot to us. It means that we're not just talking into a camera that nobody's watching. And if you think this is interesting for friends, share, click the thumbs up. Put comments below. We read everything.
We do.
Not that there's many, but we read the ones.
We may not respond instantly,
no.
But
we do read them. We do take it on board. And if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, and also click the bell so you get a notification every time we put a new video out. But we'll be here next week with our next beer review, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye. Cheers.